Testing, testing. She hasn't been on camera like this in... I don't remember. Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? My name's Phalafel. We're gonna make up for the first time in quite a long time. I think even the last makeup video I uploaded was lost footage of a previous makeup video I did even years before. A lot's been happening. I feel like the entirety of 2024, we got a few months left. Knocking on wood. It's been a cluster of a lot of change, a lot of growth, a lot of hard lessons. So we're gonna talk about it. Well, I put makeup on to get ready to get into cosplay, to get ready to shoot in a way that feels the most falafel that I've felt in a very long time, because she hasn't been falafeling in for like the past year. No one really tells you how wild that transition from 29 to 30 is. I'm 30 now. Yes, applause, applause. Yes, we've made it this far. I turned 30 on the 22nd, which is a fun, wild, crazy time. Yeah, the entirety of 2024 specifically, but also that portion of my 29th year going to 30th on this earth. It felt like a platformer. Years 1 to 28 were pretty easy, and then 29 was like a Mario bonus level where it gives you the hardest possible challenge and you have to just completely keep restarting and restarting after dying until you get through it all. Shout out Super Mario Wonder. But I feel good on the other side of this. So this video is gonna be where in the world is Phalafel? Summarizing a year of good, of bad, of sexy. Whoa, month by month. Cue the Majora's Mask transitions. Got a new camera. Only done, I think, one or two other videos, a few other videos in this new apartment after moving in March of last year. So March of 2023, I moved into this new space and had to kind of like rebuild up my life, my office, my working environment, all this kind of stuff. A majority of what I'll be using today is probably gonna be ColourPop. I will tell you when it's not ColourPop. It's probably ColourPop. This is their party proof primer. Where do I even want to start? Honestly, it's been so long since I've done even creative makeup with everything that's been going on. Like, do I want a brow? I don't even think he got eyebrows like that. He don't even got eyebrows. Maybe I'll tint them. I'll lighten them. So since it's gonna be a bunch of red, Cherry Crush, ColourPop, January. We'll start there. So this is January 2024. Finally finished getting this space set up. Getting back into the drive of sewing, creating, making costumes again. I just hit the fuck out the mic. Like getting boxed while you're watching this. January starts off on a correct foot now looking back of like this being a kind of horrendous year that turned into like one of the best years ever, right? I started January with getting an IUD. One thing about IUDs and the gynecologist that performs these procedures, they will convince you that you are stronger than what you actually are, and you will fall for it. Because what do you mean I need to take one Advil before coming in while you're literally puncturing my uterus? Advil a day keeps the gyno away. Fuck off. Honestly, I have a high pain tolerance, and so I walked in. Oh my gosh. I'll keep y'all there for your own safety. So I walk in thinking, oh yeah, this actually probably won't be bad because I've been told I have a high pain tolerance. I've just known in life that I've had a high pain tolerance. I got this. This is nothing out of the ordinary. I was a fool. She put the device in my between me down there. Within a few short seconds, I saw the heavens and the earth, and not in a good, delicious way. I was certain I was going to die. The amount of pain that surged through my body, and she was like, now you're gonna feel that 3 additional times after. The most painful experience I have ever imagined in my life. So that's how we're starting off the month. I was floored for like 3 days straight of just pain and agony and cramps like no other. In a way that was like, oh, well, worst is over. Not realizing that that was the devil's omen itself. That was Satan grasping my uterus in its hand and saying, heads up, bitch, it's only gonna get worse from here. And he was right. That month, MagFest did happen, which that was enjoyable. Went to MagFest. I think I brought Wind Waker Ganondorf. It was snowing this MagFest, so I took like cute snow photos outside. That was kind of fun. But I noticed, and maybe I should preface this before, because this is gonna be quite a ride. In preparation for this con, I wanted one thing and one thing only. Cute and comfortable Crocs that I could switch out of my like cosplay heels into, you know, little fun flirty Crocs. That's all I wanted. And so I ordered 2 pairs. One of them was fur-lined. First time I try on this pair right before packing for MagFest, I'm like, interesting that my feet are really itchy all of a sudden. But I didn't think anything of it, right? And then I'm like, these are looking like hives. Like allergic reaction hives. Didn't think anything of it. Took the shoes, went to MagFest, wore them all out. Cool. One of these eyes is not like the other. MagFest energy was great. Met a lot of cool people, ran into a lot of old friends. MagFest felt like the first jump back into being Phalafel again after the move. I moved from my very first apartment that I was living in for 5 years. So it's 5 years of my life that I built up on my own because I used to live by myself. That was kind of like uprooted in this move. And this move was for the better. Delightful, happy move, but it kind of fucks with your head. Rebuilding from the start this new aspect of your life. And I'm very much an environmental person. Like the vibe that is set with decor and organization and space helps me feel more comfortable to think or be more creative or do whatever task needs to be done, right? And so January felt like the upswing again. With that upswing came a hammer being dropped. February was an interesting time. I decided to make like a Captain Olimar inspired by one of Beyonce's tour Renaissance outfits as like, again, my swing back into the fray. And so I spend this month kind of designing, picking out fabric, starting to sew. You remember back in January when I had those hives? They've persisted. They do not stop. Have I still been wearing those Crocs on and off? But then at one point during February, I'm like, I kind of have to wean off of this. This is becoming strange, like a strange pattern. They're covering up my legs, my calves, on my feet. And so it's like, okay, let me wean off of the Crocs, right? This itching persists, and there's something about an itch. As an historically itchy person, when I was growing up, I had eczema on my legs, and so I was always constantly scratching, and so like that was one thing, right? Eczema healed over time in adulthood, but now this itch is back, and I felt just like a child, right back into that childhood of like, why am I constantly uncomfortable? I cannot think straight being this uncomfortable, and now I'm scarring up my legs again because I hyperpigment, and so every single one of these hives is turning into dark marks. Growing up as a child who was often made fun of her skin issues in school and stuff, at 29 it put me right back into that place of like judgment and confusion. And so at this point in February, I'm like, I need to see a doctor to figure out what the hell is happening with my body. And so I go see my PCP, and she's like, I don't know what this is. Because also at this point, I've had a few start on my shoulders, you know, my upper thigh. Nothing on my torso, nothing on my face. Just in these like contact areas I know were with Crocs. And so she's like, I'm not too sure what this is. It could be an allergic reaction to something. Have you had anything new? And I was like, well, the only thing that's changed in my life are these Crocs. When I first put them on, this is when the itching started. She's like, you're probably allergic to those. So I'm gonna refer you to a dermatologist. And you're gonna go see this dermatologist. And hopefully she'll be able to figure out what's going on. Cool, bet, awesome. Call the derma, try to get an appointment. Won't see me until May. Ask my doctor for a second referral. Even later. I'll take the May date. Because of this kind of like persistent itch, I can't really focus well. My mind's not in really the best headspace. And so a lot of things start to pile up mentally at this point. And so like, I make Olimar, I rush through it. And I hate it. I hate it to this day. We shot the whole thing. Hate have those photos because I'm like, this doesn't feel like an accurate representation of what I was envisioning, of what I was wanting. I was being really hard on myself, and then I started to feel this like incredible sense of like self-doubt like, am I even meant to be doing this anymore? Am I meant to be an artist on the internet in this way anymore? I was really like, oh, you're past your prime, you've lost it all. Like, you're just not talented anymore. I will say, at the end of the month, another kind of upswing. Ooh, I keep damn. And y'all choose to watch this. That's crazy. If you don't know, and I don't talk about it often on here, but I am a professional composer outside of cosplay and outside of like my day job doing marketing. I write for like symphonic orchestras, ensembles, things like that. And so in February, I actually got a chance as a part of a large commission project that I am very grateful to be a part of, this consort of other composers, other women, and like AFAB composers who were given a grant to write for different orchestras. And with that came the opportunity to talk to an artist manager. That was the first time me talking to a music professional at that level that wasn't also a composer, right? Somebody who's actively working in the music industry that isn't performing or also writing. I got some incredible advice from this individual. We're talking on the phone, and at one point he says something that like just really flips my perspective on a lot of different things. And I'm gonna botch this. He said, if you are concerned with where you are now in your career, that means that you're actually far more ahead than what you think you are. If you think you are behind, you're actually ahead, because that means that you care about your next steps and your next plans moving forward, and you're actively thinking about your future in the way that unsuccessful people do not. And that put into perspective a lot of this like self-doubt I was feeling, where it's just like, is this good enough? And it's like, yes, but it can be better. Yes, I can grow and improve it. Yes, I'm doing exactly what I'm needing to be doing. And so it was just a very much needed message at a great time when I was not feeling like myself. Also, reconnect Phalafel to Karina. I know somebody's gonna be watching like, who the hell is that? That's my real name. Every time I was like, hey, my name's Phalafel. Not bilingual. It was helpful in reconnecting Karina with Phalafel, in that I've always siloed these parts of myself where it's like, okay, there's the composer side that y'all don't know, which is crazy to me now. There's a composer side of me. There's this like vulnerable, like existing human person of me. There's this online Phalafel person, right? And they've always been separate. And so that phone call, he also encouraged to reconnect those things, because he's like, that only makes you stand out more. That's something I was always actively discouraged from doing, because this whole internet thing, like, this was still kind of deemed as like childish or foolish in a lot of the spaces that I was in musically, because classical music can be very judgmental and classist and racist. So I siloed off these parts, and I didn't feel whole again. And so it's like, okay, how do we reconnect? How do we all hold hands? How do we like Raven it from like Teen Titans, you know, get everybody together to fight our father? And a segue, February also ended with my father disowning me. We are good now. We are perfectly fine. It was a miscommunication and like a medication error, but like also, what a shit cake. This is me now using like a combination of black cherry and Take a Bite. It's like 2 darker shades. March rolled around, okay? We're now in March. The itching has persisted and started to spread even farther. So now it is occasionally on my neck and face. It is on my shoulders, my back. PCP doctor, because again, I can't see the dermatologist until May, is like, it must be the Crocs, so stop wearing them. So I get rid of the Crocs that I bought, right? This month was a struggle of self-motivation. Again, as this itching persists, it was harder and harder for me to focus on certain things, including projects that I wanted to be a part of. I was able to participate in a really cool Women's History Month console collab with a bunch of delightful creators. I'll tag right here on the side. In this like very like Phalafel depresso episode, I'm still actively as Karina going to work every day, trying to like hang out with people, trying to like human as much as humanly possible. But I wasn't really taking care of myself. I stopped going to the gym, stopped eating well in terms of like things that will make my digestive system feel good, not really taking care of my skin, I don't know, just letting myself basically fall apart because of this eldritch itch of all these hives that appeared. I mean, my skin at this point looks like a Dalmatian. Spots everywhere. Other than that, March was pretty uneventful because I was going through hell. April though, third upswing. So April is when I decided to cut the bullshit because I was bored with being sad and unmotivated. So bored to the fact where I was like, we're just gonna not do it anymore. That sounds crazy, I acknowledge. But we're just not gonna do it anymore. And so if you are a Pokemon Unite fan, or a Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon fan, then you know this motherfucking Pokemon right here. My favorite. I love Buzzwole so much. That's my main in Pokemon Unite. I stream Pokemon Unite with my stream team, the Level Up stream team. Shout out, y'all. Stream it once a month on Unite weekend, and Buzzwole is my main, and so that's usually who I play. And so I wanted to recreate the jacket from that game. And this was technically the most difficult thing that I've made to date. Believe it or not. Everything else I've been able to figure it out pretty quickly. The shape of this jacket was so specific that I wanted, and I'd never worked with making this type of jacket before. Made this jacket, was very happy that I could do it in the timeline that I wanted to do it in. Like, I felt like, okay, she's back on her shit. We're still itchy, but I'm the mosquito now. Okay, this time is mine. I also feel the strong motivation to just explore fashion more rather than just simple character recreation in cosplay. I've always been more excited by people's personal interpretations of cosplays or their own twist on costumes rather than like screen accuracy, which screen accuracy is fun, don't get me wrong. It's kind of nice to challenge yourself in that way too, but I also love watching people put their own personality into their art. And so I start to develop a very strong interest in like fashion houses and couture, which has always kind of been there, but now applying it to my design style. So I'm feeling so much more creative and motivated in new ways now, which has just been so much fun. I'm really carving out this eye. Also, pro tip, if you're like me, sometimes carve your eye a little bit higher than where your actual creases sit. It looks so much better in photos and videos sometimes. I cut my crease like a smooth, like 3 millimeters higher than it needs to be. Where my crease is, where I cut it. May comes along. The fated dermatology visit. I go to the dermatologist and she is immediately disinterested in looking at my skin at all. In a way that I was like, you're a dermatologist. Don't you want to look at my skin? She was actually like quite invalidating of a lot of my experience, but also chalked it up to being a croc allergy. And she's like, well, we could tape a croc to you for 2 days and see what happens. Girl, no. If it is the Crocs, I do not want to deal with this more than I have every time I've touched these Crocs. I'm not doing it. And in my mind, the only reason why I still think it's Crocs, y'all, the only reason why I still think it's Crocs is because the doctors are insisting that it's nothing else. They're insisting that it can't be bug bites. They are like, it is an allergy, and it is probably the Crocs that you have. So why is it still itching if I haven't worn them? Oh, well, take Zyrtec. Take 2 Zyrtecs a day. If it gets worse, take 3, which I'm like, I don't think that that's good for your body to take multiple Zyrtec in a day. But Zyrtec's the best allergy one for skin allergen stuff, so that's what you should be taking. I'm going insane. These things have spread all over. Sometimes I can't even go through a night sleeping because I'm so itchy. It's starting to get hot in the East Coast. I'm wearing full sleeves and pants every time I walk out because it's gotten that bad. Some cool stuff did happen this month. I mean, I was a guest on the Cosplay Crunch podcast with Savage Cosplays. That was a lot of fun. I started Eggman in May, which is crazy because we're in September now and I'm finally putting him on. I started Eggman in May. I just was so insecure at this time because my skin had gotten so bad because of this constant itching, and I also was not taking care of myself, so I did not feel the greatest. Like, looking back, part of me is like, you held it together way better than you should have ever been expected to given the circumstances. I was close to just snapping entirely. But again, if you've never had that constant irritation pecking at you while you're trying to lean in and focus, you just won't know what that feeling is like. And I wouldn't wish it on anybody, honestly. So we get into June, and June is now full itch. Still trying to like work and be a productive member of society, as one says, whatever that means. Trying to function without breaking down. I realized that the tone of this video is not very fun. It gets better. It gets better. I'm switching to the So Jaded palette. Also, ColourPop. Just trying to get some lighter tones to play with before I start slapping glitter on my face. So, we're at July, the day of reckoning. I laugh now because it's done, and we survived it. From January to July at this point, I was convinced that I was like so sick. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me with my skin. I was like, I have something going on that could be life-threatening at this point, and nobody is taking it seriously. Not nobody. My friends and family and loved ones taking it very seriously. No medical professionals, I will specify, are taking this thing seriously. And then it happens. So Chris is out of town for a bachelor party. So I was left home alone. One night alone, I woke up with the most ungodly itch on my back. It's about 2 a.m. And so I wake up, I get up, and I was like, no, it is time. Something in my spirit said, look under the sheets. I'm going to preface this by saying, because I know what you're already thinking, why didn't she do this earlier? I have. The moment that the itching started, I'd constantly be checking sheets, checking the mattress, checking the bed frame. Nothing. And mind you, Chris was not experiencing any hives up to this point. Or maybe a couple that he would write off as like a mosquito bite. I pull up the sheet, and I lift the flap of a mattress, and I see the bed bug. It took everything in me not to let out the most guttural, like hereditary level of screams in that very moment, because then I knew that these tiny bitches had been eating my ass up since January. 6 months of enduring tiny bugs feasting on my fleshy body for their own amusement. And they were like, this is a good enough food source. We're just gonna stay here with her. So I collected myself and I slept in the living room, and that next morning I went the fuck to town. I've never known more about bed bugs now than I did before this entire process. Did you know that they're nocturnal? So they only really come out when there's no light present, which is why I never saw them this whole time coming up. If it's enough of a blood source to sustain a colony, they won't move. They will stay directly in that space. Sometimes bed bugs will just not fuck with a certain person, and that's normal for them. So that's why Christopher never got bit. I called an exterminator, had him come out the next day. He was like, you guys actually have a very, very lucky and easy case because they're only in this room. Of course, we're gonna have to treat everything, but they're only really present in this bedroom. It shouldn't take that long, but it'll cost $1,200. Nope. Went through our management company at this apartment. They were like, we'll do it, but it's a 3-week process in which you have to bag up your entire life in plastic bags and live out of them for those 3 weeks, or you go live somewhere else, or get a storage unit. But we'll do it for free. So we took the free option. We had to bag up the entire apartment. I had to throw away a certain sets of cosplays that were underneath the bed in storage because the bugs had gotten. Once again, uprooted from our home in a way. I couldn't stream for the entirety of July. Couldn't make anything for the entirety of July. I was now a sitting duck with no access to any of my creative outlets. And when that happens to you, you are forced to sit down and look inward at yourself because there's nothing else to do. Yes, I still played like some video games. Yes, I don't know, played a lot of board games, lots of board games. When you have that forced break and you start to look in, you start learning more about yourself, start learning more about what you want out of life, you become really grateful for the love and support systems that you do have. And honestly, both in real life, in person, and online. Because y'all had held me down through all of this bullshit leading up to this point, when I was not feeling like myself. For the first time in my life, I finally let myself acknowledge that I was burnt out. And that 3-week period made me feel like I could breathe again. Also, the clarity of knowing that I'll be okay. It was bed bugs that were biting me up. I'm not sick. That relief alone completely flipped my mindset in July. So now we're at August, and where my life has taken a 180 for all the better. So we're able to reset the apartment back to its original glory after all the bed bugs have been vanquished. This is the Hard Candy Stroke of Gorgeous white liquid eyeliner. August is my birthday month, birthday season among us. I start taking care of myself more. I start getting my shit together more in terms of productivity. I start to be more honest with myself about my capabilities, the person that I am or have become as I approach 30. This is the best white eyeliner, liquid eyeliner on the market. The best that I've come across so far, because it doesn't blend in with existing color that you have, it lays on top of it. So I just did all this red. There's like nary a bit of red on the tip of this. It's not getting like destroyed by this color. And so I start feeling like myself, fully, 100% myself, including the falafelness of it all, in a way where she's ready to tackle projects like finishing Eggman after not being able to touch it through that whole bedbug debacle, which I didn't even actually get into the real crux of the bedbug situation, honestly, because when I tell y'all that our management company who handled the extermination was so unprofessional and so egregious and actually did not do anything. Like, we purposely tried to place things that had to have been moved out the way in order to successfully like access certain areas to do the extermination properly, untouched. Never getting follow-ups from management after the fact, constantly calling around in circles like, oh, well, so-and-so's out, or so-and-so left early, or so-and-so can't be found on site, so we can't reach him to give you an update on what's happening with your apartment in the process. To the point where we had to get a friend who is an exterminator help us out, and he graciously helped do the extermination process after theirs, because when they finished their 3-week process, there were still bed bugs in the room. There were still bed bugs in the bed frame because they didn't take the bed frame apart. And so that was like a side note of like, in dealing with that debacle, not being able to work on this cosplay. This is where symmetry bites me in the ass. Like, if you saw how my arms are like curled up to really make sure I'm set and secured when mimicking, my God. And so Iris Summon, as you know him online, he's taken these cosplay photos that you see here. He and I have been together now for about 2.5 years. When I moved out originally back in March of 2023, it was to move into a shared space with him. We've been together and everything has just been very beautiful and easy and smooth. He'd endured this process with me and had been really my rock and saving grace throughout it all, and like trying to keep me as sane as possible and being a shoulder for me to lie on, a confidant, positive light in my life. He planned the weekend before our birthday, because we also have the same birthday. He had planned a like spa getaway vacation in Rehoboth Beach. So we went to the spa, we got massages. I got a massage for the first time in my life. That was crazy. You don't know how many different muscles you got in the back of your neck until they get hit by a masseuse. From the rooter to the tutor. All that in between, crazy. He had mimosas, you know, we were gonna go to a fancy French restaurant, and then he's like, oh, let me talk to you for a second. Like, let's actually like go walk around. I was like, oh, okay. And then he's like, let's go to the beach. And I was like, I have heels on. Oh, why are we doing that? We're going to dinner. We go to the beach, and I'll cut to the video.
I still have no idea if she knows, but roll with me. All right. How do you feel now that you're about to turn 30 next week?
More brittle.
What is that answer? No.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
But like the brittleness, yeah, my bones hurt. But like, that's fine. It comes with life. I don't know.
Why is this interview series about you being brittle?
You sure it's recording? Is this like 30th interview?
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
It is.
Oh.
So almost 3 decades in this.
Yeah.
On this earth.
On this earth.
And you feel brittle. Is there anything else?
I feel happy.
Yeah. Yay.
I feel stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I feel... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like one of those TikTokers that hit you at the side of the mall and be like, you trust your man and see, you know, when they give him the phone over.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's like, do you want a thought daughter or a gay son? That's what this feels like.
That's crazy. This is not that interview.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
No, you're
But
good.
for the record, both.
That's crazy. Have you ever given any thought to what the rest of your life would look like?
Absolutely not.
No?
I think if you think way too much about that shit, then you're blocking your actual blessings that are in front of your face.
Oh, that's cute.
In a way, right? I mean, like, sure, I would like longevity, health, wealth,
Yeah.
loved ones nearby. But like
That's
in terms
cute.
of like what that looks like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm here for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've known you for so long now. Only 2.5 years, but it feels like a lifetime. But I would love to feel and see what that actually is with you. Karina Laurel Ingram? Mm-hmm. Could I ask the privilege to spend the rest of my life with you? Honestly, I don't know which way this is supposed to go, but I think it's here.
I think it's upside down.
Is it upside down? Oh my god. She said yes! She said fucking yes! We got him.
It was so beautiful. I'm still in a state of disbelief in a way, but like in amazement, in joy and elation, in just knowing that I've found my person. I said all those wonderful things about this eyeliner and then it dried out, so it wasn't sponsored. Here's a different one. That don't even remotely look the same. Nope, this one's just as terrible. Oh, I think I just need to shake it a little more. So now we're here. September 1st. I just appreciate the like unwavering amount of support through this time where I'm just not the falafel that y'all know and love. Just always grateful for the unwavering amount of support that you all have shown me over the years, in this past year. And so what does this mean now? What does this mean now? She's getting into the swing of it. I think that there's like a lot of catching up I need to do in a way where like I just need to kind of like, what does getting back to me feel like? I have started streaming again in, resetting my setup after the extermination. So we are live on Twitch once a week, soon to be twice a week once I get a grasp on things again. Getting back into cosplaying and taking photos again. One of the biggest things that I realized I'd lost and missed in all the chaos of what was going on was that I wasn't really taking pictures of myself because I didn't like looking at them. I did not enjoy looking at my face in this way anymore. Not in this way of like being in costume, but like I didn't enjoy looking at the person I was seeing because it didn't look like me. I felt super discouraged from dressing up, from getting into costume, from doing anything with a wig, a hair, or what have you. And I don't feel that way anymore. And so now we get back into the swing of, I don't know, being like a sexy woman in costume. That's crazy. Getting back into playing with my face, playing with costumes, playing with lighting and photo shoots and editing and that creative process of it all. Come on, coy Dr. Eggman. Yeah, that's a strong blush. How red can we get there? I'm not gonna lie, having a full-time job, plus composing, plus streaming, plus making costumes and content on the internet, y'all might get like a video a month out of me. That's like my current goal, is like, can I achieve one video per month? If yes, then add more. If no, get to a point where you can. So expect in October to have a video. I'm living my life in the moment more. I think I'm living more for just the excitement of life and the potential of like good things to come. These are Kiss lashes. This one, it was like a holiday edition. Shout out Meredith. I don't know. These are Diva. I want big lashes. There are cutesy lashes. There are demure lashes. There are very intense, bold lashes that can help make a character even more than the makeup that you're wearing itself, right? So anytime I'm doing a villain, big fucking lashes. That is an evil ass lash. That is a tax evasion lash. That is a, what else is evil? That is placing Legos where people can step ass lash. Like, I switched to this Kiss black glue, which sometimes when I want a lash to stick and not like fly away and be wonky, I dab a little bit on my existing eyeliner in the corner. It blends right in because it's already black. And then the outer corner. You saw that thread of like, oh, girls who know how to put lashes on with their fingers can know how to fight. I'm not saying test me in the streets, but be careful, be peaceful. They are sisters and not twins today. So this is actually color corrector that I'm using, and then I'm just gonna comb it out into the hair. And that way it also, to me, still looks a little natural to your brow shape because you still have some like natural hair pigments in there. And I know somebody's watching this and probably like, girl, no, we can tell. But like, all I used was color corrector and a spoolie. I've been thinking about what lip to do for this man all day. Kind of want to try a dark lip, but every time I do, somebody says I look like someone's auntie. And yes, I am technically an auntie, but come on, like, my fatal flaw when it comes to cosplay will always be the lip. I can figure out anything else. A lip? Like, people be like, drop the lip combo, and I'm like, that's a combination of stuff? I just thought it was one color. This is not punching on camera, which means it's not gonna punch during the photo shoot. I need to. This color is a liner. These are like ColourPop's duo sticks. They're lippy duos. They have the duo sticks that are like liner, and then the lippy duo sticks for the occasion. Egg earrings. I was like, there has to be something egg associated. And how could I forget the piece de resistance? Voila. A mustache. The downside of only having the black lash glue. Ah, there it is. That's the ticket. That is the ticket. At this point, it makes the most sense to get into cosplay and then cut back. So like, hello, how are you? My obsession for cosplaying red-headed villains is returned in full force. This is the final judge. This is the final look, the final energy. I'm obsessed with this cheap Amazon stacked wig that I had to like restyle for this. It was crazy. Let me give y'all a turn. Hold on. Fleece lined fake tights. This looks like a Thriller jacket. As always, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you sticking around through the hellish half year that I've had, but she's back. It's always a good time with y'all. And so follow my socials to stay up to date on all the cosplay stuff I'll be diving back into. You can join the streams too every Wednesday around 8 p.m. Eastern time. Or tell me down below what media you're super into. I've been watching Freerun cosplay. Freerun's so cool. She's so cool. Mwah, I love you all so much. Thank you again. Okay, bye.